Now I am going to show you how to work with strings in C. There were some functions specifically for strings which are not applicable to other numeric data types, and we are going to see some of them in this video. Before anything, I will first have to import the C header file, which is what will enable us to use all of these functions that we will see in this video. I will go to the top of the program and then I will write #include string.h. In the body of my program, I will have 3 strings. The first string, which I have called string1, has been set to mango. You see that when I am initializing the string at the time of its declaration, I can declare it without setting the size. I can set the size if I want, but it is optional. For strings 2 and 3, I have set their sizes to 25. It is obligatory to set the sizes in this case because we don't yet have any value assigned to the string immediately. So we have given the size of 25, meaning that for strings 2 and 3, the number of characters stored inside these strings can be 25 or less, but not more than 25. The first thing we will see in this video is how to find the length of a string using the string length function. So here I have written a printf message to display the length of string 1. You can see that I have used the %g format specifier because the string length function is a function which is going to return the length of a string as an integer value. That is, it is going to count the number of characters stored in a string and then return this number of characters as an integer. That is why we print it using the %z format specifier for integers. Now here I have written string len, strlen, which stands for string len. It is the function that is going to return the length of this string. Within this parenthesis, I have specified the string whose length I want to calculate, which is string 1. So this is going to return the length of string 1, and then we are going to print it using the %g format specifier since the length is returned as an integer. Now, when I run this program, we see that it prints the length of string 1 is 5 because the word mango has 5 characters. So this is the correct answer. The next string function we are going to see is the string copy function. String copy is a function which enables us to copy the value of one string and then store it in another string. So we are going to first of all see an example in which we will copy the value of string 1 and then store it in string 2. I will first write string copy followed by a set of parentheses. Now, within the parentheses, I will write the destination string or the string in which I want to store the value. So I want to store a value in string 2, so I am going to write string 2 followed by a comma. Now I will specify where I want to take this value from. So I want to take the value from string 1. I will write string 1. This is going to copy the value of string 1 and store it in string 2. Let's now give a value to string 3 also. I will write string copy 2. And then I want to store a value in string 3, so I'm going to write string 3, comma. Now I am going to assign a custom string to string 3, that is a string that is not yet used somewhere else in the program. So to do this, I will write double quotes. Within the double quotes now, I will write anything I want to write as string 3's value. So I have set string 3 to apple. Now let me print the values of string 1, 2, and 3. We see that the 3 strings are printed mango, mango, apple. The first mango here represents string 1. The second mango represents string 2 because we gave string 2 the same value as string 1, while the third value, which is apple, represents the value of string 3. The string copy function is a function used for comparing the values of two strings. This function is going to return an integer value of 0 if the values of the two strings compared are the same, and it is going to return a value different from 0 if the two strings compared are not the same. So let's see how to do this with an example. I am going to first of all compare the values of string 1 and 2. So in this printf message, I am printing an integer value using the %z format specifier because the string compare function is going to return an integer value based on the result of the comparison. After the comma here, I've written string compare, which is the name of the function scrcmp, and then within this parenthesis, I specify string 1 and then string 2. These are the two strings that this function is going to compare. So in this case, we see that string 1 and string 2 both have the same value because earlier up here, we already assigned the value of string 1 to string 2. Now let's compare string 1 and string 3. So this time around, I am printing the result of the comparison between string 1 and string 3. We already know that string 1 and string 3 are not the same, so it is going to give a different result from the comparison of string 1 and string 2. Let's run this to see what happens. We see that the first value printed is a 0 because this represents the result of the comparison between string 1 and string 2. Since string 1 and string 2 are equal, the result is 0, but the second value prints 1 because this represents the result of the comparison between string 1 and string 3, which are not equal or which do not have the same value. Next thing we are going to see is how to concatenate or combine two strings using the string cat function. The string cat function is a function which is going to enable us to take two strings and then combine their values to produce a new value. The new value produced by the string cat function is going to be assigned to the first string, while the second string is going to stay the same. Let's see how this works with the help of an example. First, write the name of the function. Now, I will specify the two strings which I want to concatenate, which are string 1 and 3. Now, what is going to happen here is that the value of string 1 is going to be modified to be the concatenation or the combination of string 1 and 3 at the same time, but string 3 is going to remain with its initial value. This means that string 1 is now going to be mango apple, while string 3 will remain as apple only. Let's now print the values of these two strings to see what I'm talking about. So we now see here that I am printing the two strings, strings 1 and 3. Let me run this now, and we see the result. Mango apple is printed as the value of string 1, while string 3 is printed as apple only, because this first value is the result of the combination of strings 1 and 3, but it is going to be assigned to the first string only, while the second string stays the same. So friends, these are the different string functions that exist in C. You may also want to see some C math functions, which are functions used for numeric data types instead of strings. Watch the next video of this series in order to see how to use some of these C math functions.